Welcome to Crafted and Creative, a podcast meant to uplift and engage BIPOC creatives who are on their journey of making a social impact and creating a lasting legacy. The show's mission is all about creating community and a sense of guidance for those that are looking to do the same through their artistry. Today's guest is Justin D. Jenkins, a filmmaker and journalist who made strides in the independent filmmaking space. Justin's creative career began in 2018, where he started at the independent publication ARTSY magazine. There, he covered music, fashion, and creative spaces across a variety of mediums. The same year, he co-created Creative Tribe Media, a production company, and produced the company's very first web series, Remembering Wednesday. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you. Deja A. Ross.
Yes, we here.
We here.
We get this started.
There we go. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Justin, you're a man of many talents. You write, you direct, and you produce. How did you get started in the entertainment industry? And what avenue did introduce you into the business?
Well, I thought I wanted to be an actor at first. So I actually went to study theater. Discovered I was super shy, stage fright wasn't happening. And then that same year in college, I took a lot of writing courses just to take it. I've always been kind of good in English and didn't really have to try so hard with my writing. And that's when I said, I guess I can be a writer. So I kind of just studied it. I love TV. I love movies. Big imagination growing up as a child. So because theater didn't work out, I took acting classes in Long Island. Freaked me out a lot, tried my best, and I was like, I'm not cut out for it. So I just figured to still be a part of it, I can still cultivate, and build characters and build worlds.
Yeah, the storytelling aspect.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of said, cool, let's try that. And that's what I did. Every day just kind of studied. I also, obviously, like you mentioned, the journalism part of it. So I figured, let's just do the whole thing. Just keep writing everything. So, yeah, that's kind of pushed me into the roles that I've been doing now.
Yeah, and so we're talking a lot about micro-budget storytelling and how the power of it and how you stay creative.
Yeah.
But also outside of micro-budget storytelling, films across all budgets are inspirational. What were those beginning inspirational projects for you growing up? What were the films and the TV shows?
Jurassic Park.
Hey, I love Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, the trilogy is one of my favorite franchises. The Scream franchise.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite franchises. I mean, just watching like Power Rangers growing up and X-Men and cartoons, and then it goes to the Wayne brothers and Martin. So it was just a variety and different aspects of how things came together and comedy came together, or horror, or suspense, or thriller. So, and then one of the biggest ones was the movie Seven. It's a thriller with Brad Pitt.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and Morgan Freeman. What's in the box?
Yes.
So that actually was one thing that was like, I want to do this. So yeah, so seeing that actually pushed me towards kind of continue to go.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. And so did you know right away that you wanted to do all of the things that you're doing now, or was it that you just knew you wanted to write and tell those stories?
Yeah, I know I wanted to write.
Okay.
Then, you fall into just different roles out of necessity, or just new interests, or just someone saying, well, yes, you can write it, but how do you get it made? And you mentioned micro budgeting. And then, you had like the Issa Rae's and everything that was happening with the web series world, where it's like, well, we just have to figure out a way to get it made, because if you keep waiting or trying to sell it or pitch it, it's not really going to happen if you don't have connections like that, or not going into different programs and things of that sort. So just figuring out, like, I want to get it made. If I'm writing and it took time for it, how can we get it made? And that's what I've been doing for the 70 years now. Yeah.
Wow. So your project.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Ghosted, which I had the pleasure to be in, y'all. I had
you
a pleasure of being in the
s-
web series.
The web series, the scene stiller.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Listen, I'll take it.
There we go. Yes.
Now, it started off as a short film.
Yes.
What gave you the inspiration to do the short film?
Well, this was right after I did the reading, and it was just me and Garrick, my creative partner, was just on a roll. We had the Remembering Wednesday, we was doing festivals, we had the reading, and then it actually was a Time Out New York Magazine article where I was obsessed with getting it every morning, because they had this thing called the Undateables, where they just set up two different people to go on a date and then give their honest opinion. And it was just funny and fascinating to me to see, like, one person had the greatest time and one person's like, I'm never calling that broad again. And it's just like weird. And it's just like, how do these experiences, how is it now on the same page? And I think I went to my job at the time and I kind of was just laughing with the coworker. And I was like, isn't it funny? Like, New York City's like the ghosted capital of the world, said. And then she actually was like, that would be a funny series. And that same day, that's when I saw that they had the AT&T Film Festival. You had to do 48 hours. You had to, write, edit, do all the things, like a create-a-thon, they call it. And I was like, I think I can try to do it. So it was like a 5-minute challenge. And then I wrote the short film, filmed it, edited it, and we won. So that was like, whoa, cool.
Yeah.
People were interested in it, so telling that story of Ghosted was really fun.
Yeah, it's such a great story and so relatable.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, people have, I'm not saying I did, but I'm just saying I know people get ghosted.
A lot of people get ghosted. I've been ghosted. Everyone's been ghosted. And even in friendships in different ways. So it was a fascinating story to just think about what people take so much to heart and how they can just like break down for a stranger, or what is ghosting? Is it 2 months, 3 months? So from the short film, then I pitched it Brick TV, and they picked it up as a series, and then we did 6 episodes, and that's when I fell into directing. So talking about how I just fell into these roles, and it was really fun. It came out the top of this year.
Yeah, and I know we were talking earlier that when you pitched it, you're like, well, I'm still trying to figure out how to continue the story. But watching it, I see that there are some parallels between the short film and some of the characters in the web series. Did you immediately know that those were the characters you wanted to stand out? Like, how did you pick out of the plethora of characters from the short film?
I picked, like I mentioned, because it was something quick. When Brick TV was calling for a series, I actually didn't have it. I just said, hey, I can make a series, and I did the pitch deck that night. The short film was great to have for a proof of concept. And then the producers on it also was saying that we should stick to the same, self-help group that we had. That was a kind of comical aspect of it. And I was like, well, these are the characters that's in the short film, and they have to be there. So it was a necessity. It wasn't something that I thought very hard about. I just figured that each of these characters made a mark, obviously, in the short film. Let's just continue their stories. Yeah.
I mean, there's some new elements too with Carl Logan, who plays one of the leads, and he's a comedian. Was that something that you were inspired by the actor? Because I believe Carl also has a comedy background. So how did you develop that and add these new elements to it?
Well, every time I thought about creating a series, actual sitcom, I love Seinfeld. And I love the aspect
Listen, black people watch Seinfeld, okay?
I used to couldn't stand Seinfeld growing up. I hated the theme song, everything. But for some reason, I think it was during COVID, I think I just started watching it. And I was like, this show is hilarious.
It's funny. My dad used to watch it. And I'm like, low-key, what's Seinfeld? And what's the other show, Frasier?
Frasier, yes. Those, like, that dry humor, and you got to catch real quick. And the characters are horrible, but it's, like, funny. And it's set in New York. So I always wanted to write a series where I kind of said, I'm fascinated by stand-up comedians, because I've had nightmares where I try to do stand-up comedy and it freaked me out, because I think it's one of the bravest things you can do. And Cara had a background, and I was like, this would be cool to kind of incorporate his stand-up routine that kind of narrates the series throughout the 6 episodes. So between his comedy and just being inspired by some comedian legends was why I kind of just incorporated that, and to add something new to the series, because now I have to flush it out, right? It wasn't a 5-minute short where everyone was in one room, which what Ghosted, the short film, was about. So now it was like, well, they gotta do something with their lives, and New York City, everyone wants to be a stand-up comedian, so
perfect place.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect place.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned the AT&T film competition. How did you find that? What led you to submitting the short film for that?
Well, they posted it. I think it was an algorithm. They have these create-a-thons all the time, so I actually didn't have the short film until I signed up for it, because so they give you 48 hours to write, get your cast, edit, and submit. So you have to enter it. I had the idea, but you have to enter it and then do everything. So that's what we did.
Gotcha.
Within 2 days.
Okay, so what from that experience taught you about micro-budget storytelling? Because of the fact they give you only 48 hours to do all of this, what did you take away from that?
That it was possible, that, you didn't have to have this big budget. I mean, I think I just spent money on the location and catering. We had great actors come on board, because actors sign up too to be casted, and you meet your crew there. You have to find your editor there. You can find a sound guy, whoever you can find in this auditorium. You just say, hey, you want to be a part of my project? And you can pick, choose, not. So you have writers there who were just looking for an actor, or just looking for a director to kind of help them. I was grateful because Garrick and I already established something. So I was like, well, this would be cool to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And the competition itself, they limit it. They say, like, we can tell if this project was going on for a while. You just try to submit it. So this truly was, we went on a Friday, found everything. We had to film Saturday, submitted by Sunday.
Wow.
And, we had a lot of people. And, again,
Yeah.
winning that was really, because, when you do these things, you don't really think of anything of it. It was just a passion project. It was fun to do,
Mm-hmm.
continue to work on the craft. So hearing it was really cool.
Yeah. And just staying, like you said, just staying committed to the idea.
Yeah.
And finding other people that are committed to making a project happen.
And that's really big, because talking about micro budgeting, it's hard. We know funding is tough, so you get into some spaces where people think they're about to break the bank, and I'm like, you're in the same position as, I am, so let's be smart about it. This isn't going to really put a dent, I can feed you, I can try to do the best I can, but it's trying to stay grounded in that sense of knowing where we are in our careers and continue to grow and build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really the power of it.
I mean, you've worked on so many projects with a micro budget. Now at this place in your career, what would you say you would prioritize with a budget?
Sound.
Okay.
Sound is always so annoying. I try to do the best I can with sound, but sound is really, really big. So yeah, finding a good sound person and just being really well versed in equipment, because a lot of times if I'm not well versed in it, I bring people on that know what you're doing. I trust that you know what you're doing, because I got thousands of other things that I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
A sound, location, having enough space. A lot of the stuff I've done has been in these tiny rooms, and it's fun in the moment, but then also can be very draining and taxing on just your body and trying to get the right shots, and people leaving the room or leaving the apartment trying to come in. So it helps with an easier flow. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's just more of the logistical parts of it that I will pay more attention to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're able to come out with really great projects at the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you walk away with a sense of satisfaction, or do you look back at those projects and say, oh, only if I just had this much time, or only if I had X amount of dollars for this project? Or do you walk away being like, okay, it was what it needed to be?
Yeah. It took time. I mean, of course, you go back and you should go back and get feedback from people who are honest with you, because at the end of the day, if you have the right people in your team and around you, anything they say is not going to come off as cruel. You will hope that they will just say, like, something positive is going to happen, because it's hard to get from point A to B all the way down to Z. I don't care if it's a 2-minute short, 5-minute short, 6 episodes. Putting together something from idea to set to editing to, I mean, as you know, you've probably been a part of projects that never saw the light of day because post and all that. So anyone that does that is, kudos to them. But you want to get better as you go. So I will definitely say that I've now say it is what it is. I've had a great time on its set. 12-hour days, 3 days. Like, I get an adrenaline rush from it. And then you sit down and be honest with yourself and say, what can you do better? You have to be able to critique yourself. And then guess what? You work hard for the next project. So you should never walk away with regrets, but you should always say, I'm satisfied because this was a tough feat. Not everyone can do it. And what can I do to get better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And how do you deal with that on the set, on the day, where, like, everybody's energy is high, people are exhausted, people are hungry, you're trying to push through these long days with such limited resources. Right. How do you feel like you manage that expectation, especially being the leader of a set, if you're the director or if you're producing it and everybody's kind of looking to you? How do you manage that expectation? I
think I've learned this because I've also worked in hospitality. I'm a very calm person. It gets me in trouble a lot, Sometimes you get overlooked because I am really chilled and calm. My best friends
I love your energy.
Yeah. I really am. My best friends, when they watch this, they're gonna be like, "No, you're not." I am really, really calm in stressful situations. So even in hospitality, I've learned, because I'm a manager, that if you freak out, it is going to trickle down. Mm-hmm. So in chaos, if you're calm, it helps level it down. Mm-hmm. But then I also try to bring good energy to places. So I'm never going to say it was something that was hard. It just was natural to me to be on these sets. And if these things are happening and I see it, I'm able to say, and I could be tired and drained too, but because I love it so much, I can push someone to just say, okay, what do you need? If you need a break, we're going to take a break. But I can kind of motivate and let's go. And I think if you set that tone, everyone else is going to follow suit because they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to disappoint themselves. They're all working on their craft too. If you're on sets where that leader isn't giving that or everyone is so serious, we're like, this is fun. We're being able to create stories and work together with people. Like, never lose sight that you're having fun on these sites. And we're not performing heart surgery. We're just trying to make people laugh, cry, think, feel, and that should be fun. And if you're satisfied, if you're feeling good about it, it should come across. And I know when it comes to budgeting and time and getting these shots, we got to get it in. But, this is not going to be your apocalypse now and the greatest thing that you've ever done. So take it a grain of salt. You didn't get that right shot. Use the time. Now you have a decision to make. You're going to say, let's go, or you're going to say, you know what, we're going to make that work. So, yeah, if you keep calm, just keep calm.
I love
so
that.
Good, yeah.
I just needed to hear that. I was struggling with this teleprompter earlier, and Justin's beautiful spirit. I look up, Justin's just like, just let it go. Just let it go.
You can't do nothing.
You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we're not performing heart surgery.
Yeah.
But, especially as actors, we feel everything so deeply, and we're just like, I just have to get it. I just have to get this thing right.
Yeah.
But like you said, at the end of the day, we get to tell stories. We get to entertain people.
Yeah. And it's good because, of course, you want to do the best you can. So you're challenging yourself. But I always tell people you can challenge yourself without getting frustrated with yourself. And all have to, if you know that's who you are, have the right people around us can just be like, be your peace and be your balance. And again, it is something tough because me being so calm, I do sometimes have to say, okay, people take me serious, but it's like, okay, guys, like, be stern. So I've kind of...
And that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Because being a calm person, I know sometimes that can be my default when you are so calm, but you do have to be able to get the thing going, And, like, how do you also put your foot down in situations where you have to make tough decisions?
Yeah. I do it in a calm way. No, it's true. I mean, I think I've been able to say my piece in a way that I need to say it, and I've been in moments where if people didn't hear it, they just didn't hear it. That's a them problem, because I haven't think I've ran into it too much on sets. But yeah, even again in other aspects of my life, like when I say something, I say it. You can receive it. I'm not trying to change anyone. So if you can't receive it, that's a part of you that needs to figure out why you're not able to see that someone who is trying to give you a chance, someone that you're working with, collaborating with on any aspect of your life, wants the best for you or have things to do. And if you can't now think within yourself, say, okay, now it's time to do this. Now it's time to get to work. It's nothing I can do. All I can do is what I can control. And if I'm saying, all right, guys, we got to get these things, we got to get these shots, I will hope the person that I've hired or is on set with me is able to also say, let's do it. And if they can't, I'm going to get the shot. I'm going to do something. I can write you out. I can write. I can write it out in 2 seconds. Yo, you're now in here. Let's change this up. You boom, boom. That comes, easy for me. So, yeah, I just think in a lot of aspects, if you can be stern and you will just hope the people around you, working with you, friends, family, anyone, are able to hear you. And if they can't, there's nothing I can do about that.
I love that. Because also that's currency.
Yeah.
We're talking about budgeting and managing finances, also having to budget and manage people and knowing what you expect and hoping that you have that currency around you that can support you.
And hoping that when you start the project, you have the power of the discernment to understand that this is a person that I wouldn't have to kind of just constantly do it, right? So that's also the work that I've had to do to say, well, how am I not judging people, but able to feel a connection with someone and say, this is a smart choice, or this isn't a smart choice for this time right now, because you got to be level-headed on these long shoots. Can you imagine?
Absolutely.
You're going crazy, everyone's going crazy, chaos. It's too much.
Too much.
I
love it. Okay, so now transitioning into your time at Quintessential Gentleman.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. You write for them.
Yes.
You're also a host and moderator for their publication as well. So what has that experience taught you about storytelling, if any?
The Quintessential Gentleman is another independent publication that just wants to tell the stories about black men. It was started by Eric Thompson. He's a great guy. And it kind of just told me there's different ways to storytell. Working in the journalism space, you're telling someone else's story, but there's a responsibility to it. So I kind of took the approach that I'm still doing the creative part of it and learning at the same time. So that experience has just kind of taught me that, one, it helps with having experiences that maybe I didn't go through, but I was able to learn about, and then it helps my writing and creativity if I want to create these worlds. And two is just that the impact that was able to come from this experience with the Quintessential Gentleman, because black men wasn't getting their stories told in such positive light, and Quintessential Gentleman was able to do it in a great way, and it was just fun. So that was a part where it's like the impact that I know that it could be 5 people reading it, 10 people reading it, 100,000 people reading it. They're seeing black men in a different light, and I think that's important. Because I had Jet magazine, that will have black men once in a while, but it wasn't a lot, that you kind of saw. Maybe a good movie once in a while, or a good TV show that you connected with. But when it's just like, someone that started a nonprofit in a community, up until, someone that's running Hollywood that I got a chance to interview. So just seeing a human connection. I'm an empath, so I love that kind of camaraderie and connection to see that we're not so different and have a vision of where you want to go.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've seen representation of black men in publications in that way. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Jet and Ebony, but yeah, not in recent decades, honestly.
It's something that's solely focused on them. So, and also hold them accountable, right? So it's just, and it helps growth, it helps heal, it helps just so much. So yeah, that's some proud work I've done with that publication. Yeah.
And you have that unique voice in your storytelling. What would you say you would want audiences to get away from your filmmaking?
I think I want them to feel a sense of responsibility for other people. We live in a world, I feel, that is just like everyone is so like, I'm an individual. I owe nobody nothing. I owe no one an explanation. I don't know. And I just feel like just watching it, whether it's something funny that you've watched for me or something that's a little thrill, but just in that to show friendships matter, relationships matter, the relationship with yourself matters, regardless of how you're watching it. With Ghosted, I say that yes, it's a comedy, but if you look into it, it was more of wanting people to say, not holding one person's validation of them so strongly that now they're so distraught that they have to go to a self-help group and feel this bond, and everyone else is suffering. Okay, I can make it through. Or if you do need the self-help group, be in it in a responsible way that you're trying to actually get help. Because we all need help. We don't know why people react that way. But the ghosting thing was just like funny that people needed it. So, but also the love for yourself, right? Like you can love yourself enough that you tried, you took a chance. In the story, there's a guy who's getting therapy because he's so like just afraid of, being ghosted and afraid of love, and there was so much deeper issues. And him and the therapist go back and forth of just like, what is love and what does it look like? And it was a different approach. So it was just more just understanding yourself, feeling yourself, and know that something can happen. Take it, learn from it, grow from it. Feel all the feelings, but always try to come out on the other side.
Yeah. And just really connect humanness. Because all of those things you said, we all can relate to.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
My situation is not so unique where it's like, oh my gosh, it's just happened to me. Like, what happens? And look, other people have made it through. So, like, just watch how that happened. And a lot of times it's around people around you, be inspired by them. They don't have to sit there and lecture you all the time, but just see their smile or how they hold their head up in situations, and you'll be able to do it. Yeah.
Now, with filmmaking in general, you've done a web series, you've done short films. What would you say, where would you imagine where filmmaking is going, right? We have the social media, we have all these streaming platforms. Where do you think independent filmmaking in particular is going? I
think that it's going great. No, I think that it's going in a great direction. I believe that people who are actually passionate about filmmaking is not going anywhere. So when they're threatened by AI or content creator or whatever the other side of that is, then if that's your focus, is to just constantly look at, well, how can I just get ahead and be the first here? Or how can I, obviously we want to make money doing it. But when you set expectations and say, I do it because it's my passion, I do it because I love it, yes, we want the something to come out of it and continue. But I'm not going to now stick to what I know what filmmaking is to do something else and say just because I can be first doing it, or just because I have more eyes on it, or just because now this is going to lead to this or that to the third. So I think independent filmmaking, for those who truly love independent filmmaking, are going to continue to do it, right? Because they're doing it for their love of filmmaking. And those who are doing it because they think that they want to, I don't know, be famous, just make a lot of money, then they'll push themselves out. And
there's so many more avenues to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Outside of attaching it to the typical standard of like going through the studio route, going that way. And I was reading an article where they were saying that vertical films and short films are the new thing, that people will literally swipe and watch a whole series
I got
on TikTok.
hooked on one or two of them before.
You did?
What? I was like, God dang, they got me.
What was it about?
It was not even like good. It was addicting, you know. But also, I thought about the vertical too, because I was like, someone that looked like us. I want them to get ahead, funding, and do really good shows with it, because it is like 20 seconds. Like
20 seconds.
You just go and you spend money, and I'm like, God damn it. So
I mean, you probably don't even need money at this point.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the vertical thing I think will be great. I think it's also that will be cool as well for independent filmmakers, but doing it right, and not losing the integrity of filmmaking, and not just looking for, you know, the salaciousness of it all. You know, so if you want to tell a story, but again, what I've understood with the vertical is a lot of it is just like this heightened drama, and it's like, you know.
I mean, in that article, they were saying that a lot of the verticals, they just use AI. They use algorithm to tell them what audience like, and they'll just create a script like, 50% of this type of population enjoys romance. So it's kind of crazy that like, how do we work with that, but how do we not lose the essence of being storytellers?
I mean, I think that's going to depend on individual, right? Because if someone right now is like, you have to make this because this is the only thing that will get you where you want to be. If I have, like, I don't really write romance, you know, I can write a comedy and have love interest in it, but it's a difference between like, this is like a romance. If I'm not there right now, I'm not going to write it because, you know, it's not going to be coming from me. I'm like not going to use AI. Totally against that. So I get it. You know, I get technology is moving, but I think for people who are, again, going to hold their integrity and they want to use something like vertical, they still will be able to tell the story that they want to tell, and then use that use that technology to be able to have eyes on it. And, you know, you hope that people that run into it isn't only run into it because you can still use the algorithm, right? If they know that, I mean, I don't know how all that algorithm stuff work, but if they know that you want to do documentaries, right? So say if you use that and you do it in bits and pieces, and then you have people who love documentaries, they like and everything, then that will now pop up.
Yeah, they'll find it.
That's something that you stuck to what you wanted to do to tell that story, you know, versus sitting at home and you're like, what I want to do, and it's like, oh, they said that you should just write romance. Okay.
And there's an audience for everything, too.
For everything, yeah.
There's an audience for everything.
Exactly.
So you like you said, you don't have to just sit at home.
Yeah.
You can literally make something from your bedroom.
Right.
Almost you don't even need an audience at this, or you don't need a cast. It's kind of crazy that it's with nuts. TikTok and seeing where it's going is that you can literally make a whole film just yourself in your bedroom. Yeah. And I watched a story like that on Instagram where a guy cast himself and all the characters,
and he was doing like different characters. I think I saw a couple of those.
Yeah.
So if that's something that will help them and fulfill just getting their project, then do it. You know,
and do it
and use it in the right way.
And now, any words of advice for our audience that are looking to create their own projects, looking to get into independent filmmaking?
I think of a lot of advice we say, you know, just start. You know, don't think that everything is going to line up in the perfect duck in a row before you start. And that's something I had to learn. I used to just be like, well, this has to be. And the biggest thing I think I've learned was just do it. Just go for it the best way you can. But you also have to do the work, right? It's not going to come to you. So if you can't just say, I want to do it, and then you just sit back. He's like, no, you want to do it? How are you making connections? Are you meeting a director, a producer, an actress? Are you, telling your story? Are you taking the time out to write? Are you taking the time out to save up some money because
Mm-hmm.
you can't always rely on crowdfunding. I'm horrible at crowdfunding, so everything I've done besides with Brick TV was like self-produced, like
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
I know my strengths, so I would
Yeah.
love to crowdfund and take have people help with the money, but so I think doing the work, you just truly really have to do the work, whatever that way that looks for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then also find your tribe. I always say that, find your tribe, someone that aligns with you truly. And if people don't, that's fine. It doesn't make them the worst person. But someone that truly aligns with you, that you feel the connection, you feel the energy, you know that you're going to keep the integrity of the project, because collaborating is tough sometimes, creative ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But someone that always respects your ideas, and you guys are working together to create the best project for the vision that you do have, because you guys can get there. So really truly find your tribe. Yeah.
Okay. And what's next for you?
I'm hoping for a Ghost of season 2.
Yes.
I'm hoping you come back.
Okay. I will.
And I'm hoping to do my first feature film.
Hey.
Finish that up, finish writing that, and see how that goes. Maybe I do learn to crowdfund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, where can people find you?
Instagram, Justin J Writes, like a writer. Justin J Writes. That's all I got. And it's on Twitter. Yeah, Justin J Writes on X and Instagram, but I don't have TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. What else they got out there? Snapchat. Yeah, just that.
Well, y'all go check out Ghosted. It's on
Brick
Brick
TV,
TV. You can
yes.
find it on YouTube, the web series and the short film.
Yep.
And then what else? You also have like all your stuff is on YouTube essentially.
Yeah,
Remembering Wednesday.
Remembering Wednesday. We have with Carl Slash
the horror
which
film.
came out like this week actually, based off the Scream movie. So I told you I love growing up with Scream, and it was fun to be able to do something with the Scream mask. So that is called Slash. That is on YouTube as well. So go check that out.
Okay,
that executive produced. Yeah.
Yes, go check it out. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you. I'm excited for you. Congratulations with all of this.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching and listening to this episode of Crafted and Creative. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe everywhere where you get podcasts and on YouTube. And I will see you all in the next episode.